There's a sort of roots to the house. Anybody suffering from any foot or ankle ailments? Secondary black market. Like the one of your other sweets. Yeah.
That's not. Yes. Helpfulness. I think in there. Should be. The remaining amount. This is a line through and what's the amount? Well, leave it there, just right below what was already paid and then what's due. Okay. Longest communication ever.
Where you got?
Nowhere. It's just like the border line. Wasn't on. And did you? History. Thank you. I have some.
Over this meeting of the Borough Council. Yes.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very much. This meeting being held in class Thursday Open Public Meetings Act is advertised in the register. We're downstairs in all for social media channels. I ask for those of you here joining us in public this evening, have a cell phone silent, and if you need to speak to someone while we are conducting business, please do so outside the council chambers. Roll call, please.
Mr. Benjamin.
Here.
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Present.
Mr. McLean. Mr. Perno. Mr. Sperazza.
Here.
Mr. Woods.
Here.
I have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. First item on the agenda this evening is a proclamation for Maureen Plume. During October, there was an event from the Historical Society honoring Plume. At that time, sent her with proclamation. As is custom, we'll read this into the record. So she will always be remembered in minutes of council. Proclamation honoring Maureen Plume. There is a desire of the mayor of Borough Council, Borough Merchant, to honor those whose service has enhanced the quality of life of Borough Merchantville. And whereas Maureen has lived in Merchantville for over 45 years, raised her family here, founding member of the task force, and on the executive committee as a secretary and then president of Merchantville Main Street. She was appointed and served on the Zoning Board of Adjustment and the Historic Preservation and has dedicated 20 years serving on the Historical Society as president. Whereas Maureen was Grand Marshal for 150 great, as well as the recipient of the Frank Volunteer Year Award in 2024. She's always served the utmost paramount concern with her. Whereas Maureen is the author of Images of America, Merchantville, keeping the faith for 100 years, history of parish contributed significantly to the quality of life of the citizens, commitment to excellence and diversity of skills that are invaluable resource, and therefore being proclaimed on the 21st day of October 2025 by the Mayor of Borough Council. The Borough of Merchantville hereby recognizes the extraordinary accomplishments of Maureen Plume and urge the citizens of our community to join in thanking her for service and dedication. Thank you to Maureen. Unfortunately, I could not be there. Away, but you know, Councilman Woods was there. Otherwise, Councilman Native, but I heard it was a wonderful honor of Maureen and her time serving the borough. Thank you. Okay. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda. Next item on the agenda is the public portion of the meeting. And I think we have guests here this evening. So just come state your names in there on that for the record, name and address, if you don't mind, and then we can get the.
My name is Reed Sutton. My home address is 103 Old Cover. Counselor.
Once you give, yeah, just a little breakdown. Yeah. I think.
So my name is Reed Sutton, and I am here presenting on behalf of Angela Collier. I am a dispensary owner of a dispensary called Hello Eyes in New Jersey, on the way to the beach from here. I'm also in business with this partner. His name is Tom Bloom. Our called RTO dispensary, where we help dispensary owners. We basically invest for people who don't have dispensaries, and that would be Angela. Unfortunately, she had international travel planned during this meeting for years tonight, so I told her I would take care of the patient. Mr. Mayor, she spoke with you, so this will mostly cover our questions that you have. I'm just hoping to address like, who we are, why we think you should let us open this session, what it's going to do. Certainly, if you have any questions while I'm talking, you can use that. It's going to be that 3133 Center Street property. I think I'm pointing in the right direction. It's the old tree. It was a dry cleaners before. So that's actually the first thing. That's a big question. Dry cleaners, if you ever work in real estate with dry cleaners, they unfortunately need a lot of not great chemicals behind. So we have some quotes out for a few companies that specifically remediate dry cleaning chemicals and equipment. The equipment is going to be left in the building to purchase it. So there will be a third party before we do like the demolition dry construction, like a secondary third party that will come in and do specific dry cleaning remediation to remove the equipment that they have and clean out some of the chemical. So that's like an additional cost that we're very comfortable with. And any questions about that? It is something if you ever our bank is going to make us do it anyway. Leave it not good. So that's what we'll be doing there. We have there's a few companies that specialize in that, so we'll be using that. As far as parking goes, there's the on the street parking here. There's a municipal lot. If you go past it and turn right there, I believe you guys are putting a new one in the Verizon store, I believe. So in terms of the number of customers per hour that come into a dispensary, typically one that's busy is doing between 5 and 10 transactions an hour. There seems to be plenty of parking. I would overwhelm of the city in terms of the ability to park. We will be putting access amongst all the CRC requirements. So we have accessible entry, exit, bathroom, etc. CRC is going to require for dispensaries, so we follow all of those regulations. One thing that we will be doing, why open another one, I guess, for Merchantville, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, dispensaries pay 2% of revenue as local tax, which is nice. Going to generate more revenue right now, like dry cleaners does. There'll be about 5 to 10 full-time jobs and 5 to 10 part-time jobs with the dispensary. So there'll be an extra tax generated. We particularly, about 50% of our clientele will be 55. We skew towards an older demographic. The one that's in town is a bit of a younger and hipper, I guess would be the word you would use, sort of style. We have an older demographic that our business model pursues. So 50% of our customers for our current dispensary are over the age 55. So you'll see a little bit of a difference, just like you could have a wine bar in town, you could have a sports bar in town, you could have a country music bar in town. There's room for a couple different dispensaries that are going to serve different parts of the public, and different people are going to want to access, different dispensaries. So it's not just going to be like two walls across the street from each other. There's a very different vibe around what products we sell, who we're targeting, and the products that help. Angela is contacting mural artists for the side of the wall there. That's a possibility. Regulations are that Philadelphia's tradition of being cities in the country with the best mural projects is something that inspired her to started to fill out the paperwork for the highway. We've already reached out to a few senior living, senior facilities to do education around cannabis. In our current dispensary, we did a session with the local police department, so it'll be something we'll be contacting them to see if they're interested in, to discuss, you know, having an inspector facility and do a tour so that they feel comfortable with everything inside of that. We will, of course, be following all of the CRC regulations. There's 24/7 camera access. At any time, CRC keep access to cameras inside the store. There's an unarmed security guard on duty all the time at all stores. There's a vault. It has to be separated from an outside wall, has certain security requirements around thickness of the wall, et cetera, to prevent people from stealing products outside of business hours. So there's a very extensive list. Our current dispensary has been operating for about 2.5 hours security. It's not an easy place to steal from, so as a lounge, as a consumption lounge, with access to that, there will be a sobriety checkpoint on the way out. There's about 3 different companies right now. They sell apps that are essentially iPad apps that has visual motor coordination to allow a employee to determine if someone's prepared before they leave. So we utilize them to make sure they're prepared and driving on the way home. And we're looking at a couple of partnerships locally for to get involved in the community. Angela was born and raised in Merchantville. She has a lot of local community ties here. I know that she's working with an art company, I've spoken with an art company already to come run classes in the space when it's not being used for as consumption now. There's a whole bunch of different public use cases that Angela has implemented to be part of the community. Like I said, she's born and raised here. To be part of it. Angel's partnering with us to help her get the dispensary open. We're building our 3rd dispensary, this will be our 4th. We've run one for 2.5 years. Everything, we've not had the police respond to our current one. We haven't had a police call of any kind. We're experienced operators. We will operate, we'll follow the laws, we pay our taxes on time, we pay our employees on time. We will be good community members, and I think that overall, we will help improve. Anybody have any questions for me? Any objections? Any reason why you maybe think it would be a good idea to have us as part of the community?
Well, maybe that undermines what we already have.
That's a great question, and an excellent point. Like I said earlier, we target an older demographic, and just like there could be more than one bar in town, there could be more than one dispensary in town. We're targeting an older demographic. We target 40% of our revenue comes from free. We'll be collecting tax dollars from people outside of the town via delivery. So, yes, if someone walking down the street, I suppose, I'd say which dispensary do I want to go to, there may be some overlap there. But overall, just like you wouldn't walk by a wine bar and country music bar, but I don't know which one I want to go into. There's going to be very different experiences and atmospheres inside the 2 of them, and they're targeting sort of 2 different consumers. You're probably either the type of person that goes to a wine bar or goes to a country music bar, and maybe not you wouldn't go into the other one. We're not stealing your house.
And the only other objection I have is on across the board. And just so that I voted against lounge. Okay. Across the board with our time.
You said the experience would be different. How would it? So the first thing is the products. Tinctures are our number one product that we sell in our store. It's stuff you take home and put in your drink. Usually to help you sleep is the way. The main demographic for that is actually women struggling with anxiety or something. So their products are the number one way. And the number 2 way is simply like what's inside, music, art, etc. So it's a retro theme for people from the 70s and 80s nostalgia theme is what it is. So it's just the actual like the music inside, entertainment acts, anything like that would be skewed for an older crowd.
Can you do me a favor, if you don't mind, just so the microphone can pick you up, can you just go to up there and you saw it. You can share a copy of that.
Absolutely.
Great. That way, it's not a microphone for that, it's just a recording.
Okay. What other questions can I ask?
You mentioned delivery. What are the rules around delivery? There are set of license holders for each of these things, is there not?
So class 5 licenses allow for delivery and say there's a separate class. I believe it's 6 is the delivery only license. New Jersey's class 5s allow for delivery. You guys as a local ordinance can actually prohibit your class 5s from doing delivery. Since there isn't language in your ordinance that prohibits it, it's allowed by the state of New Jersey, is the way it works right now. So just so.
Yeah, I was just curious.
And so what we found is delivery, customers come in, discover a store, find a product that they enjoy, and then traditionally, like everyone else, would much rather just go on their phone, order something, and have it delivered. You have to have it delivered to a house. It can't be anything other than a residential. There has to be a license check, so an ID check. So when a delivery is made, the driver checks the license, make sure it's the person who it is. But it could be anywhere in New Jersey. We limit just because of like the economics of driving a car somewhere. We limit it to about 30-mile radius. But what's nice for Hamilton, the town we're in right now, is during the summer, for example, a lot of people go to the beach. We're only about a 15, 20-minute car ride from the beach. We deliver there, we collect revenue, we pay taxes in the city of Hamilton on the revenue for the sales that are happening for people who are at, Margate at the beach that summer. So it expands the pool of customers. So if you're concerned about harming the the existing dispensary in town, it's a way to expand the pool of customers to other towns nearby.
How many more dispensaries do you think the regional market, I say regional or local, could actually sustain?
So with a downtown like this, I think try at a third. First of all, I didn't know where to put it, so I think
I just mean like that's all I can sure they're all in the area. There's only
Yeah.
5 or 6 dispensaries.
yes, this is a fairly heavily populated area. If you look up in Northeast Jersey, we're opening one of ours in Parsippany. There's a lot up there, and it's more of a per capita kind of thing because simply it's just like more people. I do think that convenience is the number one driver that we found. The number of vehicles that drive that go by the store essentially is the number one driver. So I do think that this area still has room to grow. And Collinswood is like an unlimited license, but Pennsauken is only one right now. Cherry Hill's not allowing. So there aren't a ton in the area. I would say it's not saturated.
John, Eric, so I guess maybe if you could just send us a copy of that, and discuss with the council and get sort of an answer. We might have other questions that we'll send, see where we land.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the time, John. I appreciate it.
Now, I've already heard you have other questions that you might have with regard to the presentation and the other stuff. You can submit those to me. Actually submit back out to direct contact, and we'll get those listening questions over. All right. Don't see any other comments, so we'll close the public portion of the meeting. Minutes, set the minutes here. First, October 25. And everybody here vote on those except for the consent. So I have a motion.
Second.
Was the first, Cheryl, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed and abstentions. Second is World Shores meeting. For the 27th, 2025. Everybody who is here except for Mr. Straza, a vote. So, motion, Mr. Woods, second, Mr. Turner, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed and abstentions. Okay. Engineers report, Mr. Lees, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. Wednesday after election, demolition started on Somerset Phase 2, completed that week. Last week was concrete, curb and driveway aprons. Friday was base paving, and today was top coat paving. So we're not totally finished, but pretty well along. So we'll be in the punch list
All right, good.
much quicker than last phase.
Fire truck over. All right. All right.
And as of today, we received notification of fiscal year 2026. The borough received 197,685 for next year's payment. We identified the remainder of Somerset to Plymouth, Greenland, and Westminster, so we'll discuss each. Plus, we got last year's, isn't it?
It is less. Less than one, right? Excuse me, like 30,000.
No, I think it's more. For some municipal, a lot of municipalities are getting around the same number, maybe we're getting less, but
I thought we were in the 200s.
that's what I thought.
I thought we were too.
Yeah, okay, so we're in like the 220s, I think.
Just mix us up with a municipality.
Used to have this.
It's not very old. How can you do that? Free. Never done that. Never received a resolution. Never, not once.
How does it this way? Does anyone know what numbers identify? You didn't like anything?
What's that?
You know how it's like identifying it? It's not four, 7 minutes this way.
So dark. Over best.
DCA.
Who's that money back? Or we didn't spend all the nonsense last time? Or we did?
No, we haven't done many of that yet. We're still in the process with the intent is to use it all. When I
Just
said
keep finding ways to use
we are not sending anyone.
it. Strike the shit out of that road.
Well, plenty of charges.
And whoever can. Anyway.
Yes, but no, we're not doing that.
I asked Mrs. Browse's question over there. I've seen some other communities who have lost their, or been told that they've lost their federal earmark. Have you heard anything about it?
No, I think as we were sitting there now at the government, we need to go and have a sit down with our local rep, get a sense of what that's.
Actually, Congressman's chief of staff the next couple of days, you know what I mean? I'll see what I can find out, but we not heard it.
Nothing.
That's all we know. We don't know.
They're multi-use plan.
The multi-use they're $50,000, yeah. But this is, you should have lost
Everyone.
fixed press release or wide earmarks.
I plan for it.
I'm not planning for it, I'm just trying to figure out if we missed the mail. The video.
Oh, yeah. Actually, then you can go online. Some of our cancels. Yes. And we don't want to get in a situation where we expect. You're not asked to show up until we test the conversation first.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you heard.
There hasn't been really any Other than those municipalities, funding,
So,
Going back to the road project, it was brought to my attention that a couple mature trees were removed. Have we have any sense of whether they're replaced or? We weren't aware that.
one tree was removed to impact to the road. The borough removed that one. A smaller tree was not to override construction activities.
I think that was the one that was reported.
ooh,
I mean, you would like to see that replaced in time.
God, it's the formula. Frustrated and that way it was small.
that's small.
And what was the caliber?
I mean, I think anything that's 2.5 inches in diameter, it needs to be replaced. It's a straight tree.
Well, if construction activity, they should be replacing,
Yeah,
regardless of our ordinance.
yes,
I just want them to measure the caliber.
I would.
Yes.
They're not now. Shouldn't be.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
They're not over. They should take, come and do pretty close, similar size. They can get it to an inch caliber.
You're on that, right?
That's
But the other tree that was taken down should be replaced as part of the project. One the borough took down. I know, and then it's just borough should pay for
Why
it.
don't we have to
Yeah.
replace it? By our own ordinance.
Yeah, our own ordinance, but more importantly though, is we take the do impact the street. So, but you have that project, assuming the one we took down.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Yes, one, two. See how we get through it.
Tomorrow.
Something's related.
Oh. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Response. Council members. Mr. Woods.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a couple things to report from Shade Tree. There's issues needs to be replaced. So I had brought up a couple meetings ago that Shade Tree was looking to amend our existing tree removal replacement ordinance, specifically to include reference to our utility providers who are contracting out tree trimmings and removals to ensure that those trees are being replaced or there was a donation made to replace that tree. So the plan is to add a section within the existing ordinance to specifically call out those entities. Under the current ordinance, it should apply to them, but we want to make sure that it does and that they're aware. And I think also the intention is to, if they're going to make a donation, that the donation is greater than the loan that goes on your resident. I think we're targeting maybe double, set at 300. I would like to set $600 for the replacement, which would be a decent size shade tree, so the young tree. And also, while we're at it, there are a couple elements that just need to be cleaned up, specifically under exemptions. I think oversight when we were originally adopting it. One of the exemptions was and it also just getting to your point, the shade tree is looking to do some plantings in the coming weeks. We're going to spend the remainder of our planning budget. If there are any locations that people feel need attention, please bring them to our attention. See if there are places where things are will be targeted. That's all I have. See you. Happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, so on the ordinance change, can we actually differentiate? Usually then,
That's
differential
It's, yeah, you're running into some, you're running into, bad country, so to speak.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Because you're not treating everybody. And, so that's number one. Number two is, those ordinances, when we have, this is specifically what they came through for the MS5 permit and things like that, we would have to submit them again to.
We had to submit these again.
We had to submit that. Just so you know, I mean, they don't have any problems at all.
Now, that said, my second question, same lines, is, I know that utilities had special protections at one point. I think we couldn't really stop them trimming trees.
Yeah. And I mean, we're not preventing that, we're saying that.
Well, there was an argument, were we allowed to charge them, or did they even place trees? Or did the state law that we had to adopt overrule BPU's requirement?
the vegetation management, vegetation management laws for utilities.
Right.
Why
They're usually not, they're not, they're coming in, I think they're.
Oh, they're back in the times, and they're basically, yeah, I mean, that's, it's not just kind of, it's only stuff in the tree.
I mean, they were around the road, they had 7 trucks.
Yeah.
And I'm not aware of anything in the state statute that would prohibit us from saying that, okay, I mean, we're allowing them to use a work.
Why did that DEP law that forces us to adopt this measure preempts the utility
It's
law?
really didn't be here.
There's something to the DEP, which I think actually limited our ability to regulate the utilities in how they trim trees.
Yeah, if my understanding was that we couldn't stand in their way. And then we would have to allow them to trim as they see fit. But I think that this is taking measure to say, okay, well, you're allowed to do it, but maybe you should be more mindful.
Because they come in and retire at the same time, we could make them make arborists to be on site and stand
I
by.
mean, if they're gonna come in, they're gonna tell you they have 3 here, they're doing, basically, they're just following.
We want counter arborists.
So this brought to my attention by members of the commission that there are ordinances that exist that
But we're willing to waive it.
would require the utility company to come in and find a plan to the Shade Tree Commission. Whether that's effective or not.
But you don't have approval, right? So.
Yeah,
And-
but they
and
would
you
have
don't-
to come in and say, this is our plan.
You can do that anyway, it's not like. You have something on paper, says you're gonna take that tree. There's also a point, I get really litigious on this, I don't really wanna lawsuit, certain of our ordinance, that's contrary to state law too. So I think, like, until we have actually, like, is there any other examples of this, I never heard of this, charging the utility for replacement trees.
Oh, I want to charge them. I think that's okay.
That's what, I don't
I think it's
know.
okay to charge them. Oh, absolutely. No,
I don't know if you can, I just don't know if.
I agree with that.
You, and then how do you have the. Why commission, if they're really looking for.
I don't think you're gonna run into a problem charging, I think you're gonna run into a problem charging.
Yes,
So
I agree with
that's-
that.
That's
Because they're over there, they're not removing trees, they're trying to keep the trees away from the.
And I would imagine in those cases, they're not gonna be installing another tree, they're gonna give us.
No, my issue is
$300
that in some cases they wipe the tree out.
The intent, as I understand, speaking with you earlier, was that the changes to this ordinance are meant to, for us to have some sort of fallback rights when they basically ruin the tree.
Yeah,
Even though all they were trying to do was protect their right of way, it essentially killed the tree,
yeah,
and then it should be removed and replaced.
Right.
And that is what we're trying to guard against here, not some other.
I agree with that, and that's why I'm thinking maybe modify words, even though it may not be effective, I need to listen to it. But require them to do a presentation of where they come in, which we're allowed to do.
What level?
No.
At what depth are you asking?
No, just do the presentation to identify, and then we can identify and say, based on your trimming practice, what you're looking to trim, and how you're looking to trim it, we think these trees may die, and we're gonna say, what do you think in here?
Do you think that they're going, I mean, you're putting all notice, but
That's what I'm saying, that's why you create the notice, notice.
they're going to provide you a trimming plan for the trees?
I mean,
Or just say, we're trimming that one, and that one, and that one. You know, like, and trim is a very,
And
Yeah.
that, as I said, that, the commissioner brought that to my attention. I think that this is more effective in getting to that issue, because I think that if we're imposing, okay, this tree deteriorates to a level where we need to remove it.
But I guess my question is, how soon after, because they're gonna turn around and say, oh, we need to. let
It
you-
was, the other part, how many times you get trees that we.
And that's, I mean, to the very point where, in the last meeting, we're gonna provide them a letter of the trees that we saw in this last round.
That we-
Put them on notice that these are the trees that we think are going to decline based on your trimming, but, I mean, they can always say that, oh, well, that tree was gonna die anyway.
But how many times has the tree commission asked you to remove a tree because it's already dead, it's in the lines, and you can't remove it? Yes, and you're like, I'm not removing it now because I'm not paying that money.
They're on a hand, I would say a handful of times, and how many times they've actually done it,
Well,
I think it's maybe on a couple fingers, if that.
I don't think they've ever pulled a tree down.
I mean, I'd be happy to just say, we're never gonna ask them for a tree ever again, and
I mean, at the same token, we also just had a house on ground, they're tired of going. Scream boo about that.
You should be.
but that is counter to our organization.
That has a.
and that's another element of this that we're looking to figure out the best way to enforce the private properties that are removing trees. The shade tree doesn't have the capacity to monitor all those, nor do they really have the authority to go to residents and say, you're removed a tree.
Or do we want
Yes. So I think that's part of this
That's
look
part of
back
it.
is to figure out how to move this forward.
Identifying it, putting it.
It's code enforcement.
Code enforcement. No, it's every code, I mean,
Yeah.
PD driving around all the time, and see.
Well, but even with, I mean,
Driving around.
we're, right, so, that should be reported through,
And
code
they're-
enforcement, anytime anybody sees something like that. And they're required under the ordinance to report that, right? It's a self-reporting mechanism, am I correct?
Yes, I mean, that, the way the ordinance stands, it is incumbent on the homeowner when the removing, prior to removing, to file an authorization form with the shade tree. I don't wanna ding these people, I think they're unaware of policy, but I do think code should be letting people know, especially when they know work, substantial work is being done. If you remove these trees, they need to be replaced. And we're not gonna stand in the way of removing them, it's like, they need to replace them.
Somehow.
Or otherwise support the file.
Right, or otherwise, it's more than
I mean, and again, public policy. Shade tree, tree city USA for 48,000 years. It is an important part, feature of our community. It's what sets us apart, frankly, from Pennsylvania and Cherry Hill, and some of the younger communities that surround us.
And I'm concerned for losing one.
Right, so as part of public policy here, we're trying to either discourage people from removing trees just because they want to, and or otherwise have some sort of fund where we can plant trees so that we keep a healthy canopy and robust canopy. So I'm fine with that. I do think it's code enforcement. You know, we talked about this because I just you don't know who's going to be on shade tree from 1 month to the next or 1 year to the next.
So anyway, I would be willing to move the amendment, reference, the second part, but not necessarily the actual.
I'm willing to accept that feedback, if there is potential for legal challenges, I can keep the fees as already stated in the ordinance.
With the second part, I'll make it pretty clear, and also willing to make it clear that this applies to utilities, not the beach.
Could we just verify that's true, because I just didn't work searching since state law operated, so. That's why I was not, this other vegetation.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, that is.
I was
We're still
aware-
willing to amend the second. Well, I mean, I'm willing to amend the second.
You're probably better off waiting.
Okay.
Okay,
Say so, let's do it all at once.
obviously, since we have to go to the.
Also figuring out whether or not we need to go through here where we create a separate one, just a public part of the oversight. So basically, all right, thank you.
I don't know, I think that's state law. Yeah.
Thank you. Meeting.
I just want to, for the month of October, one virtual session and two in-person sessions. Money turned over to the borough, $4,565.68. 257 cases added, 6 cases. And it's all that, short.
Questions? All right. Mr. Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Your Honor. Board of Ed will be meeting tomorrow night for their monthly get together. The DPW did the replacement of the body worn car pickups, hoping to add at least another 5 to 10 years to that truck. Mercerville Business and Professional Association met last week to discuss proceeds that they had gathered from sales of the walking tour and the Monsterville shirts, both turned out quite well. The Saturday following Thanksgiving is Small Business Saturday, as well as a sip and shop event that's being held by the Commercial Business Professional Association. I know a lot of people are always saying, what can they do to help us support the downtown? Small Business Saturday is a big deal for a lot of the businesses in the borough. So if you're so inclined, please be sure to stop out at the downtown West End and do some shopping. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you very much. Question? Mr. Sprout?
Yeah, good evening. Richmond Fire Department, 17 calls last month. Calls with year. Equipment's all pretty shape. We did have a house fire the end of, actually the beginning of November. Yeah, I guess it was November 2nd. No injuries. Cause will be determined, so that should be reported and not been filed. No injuries with that one. So far for fire, we are all but 20 copies have been collected on fire safety, and then that should be done by the end of this year calendar. And then the same thing for rental inspections, it's all collected and it's complete.
Great.
Was there an event today with fire trucks? So,
Yes. Soccer, what's the one champion? I'm going to move the resolution 25 today, pay all our bills, and $705.35. And then also as a just update on abandoned properties list, our goal is actually to target and to see if we can 2 abandoned properties off our list into acquisition. Looking at maybe St. Joe's, now we can go on Center Street on Somerset, and see if we can get that on the next 30 to 60 days. So I'm going to work with Tim to track. Then the other thing we want to do is I'd like to bring in council probably starting in January, that we move the vacant property fees to allow us to make them a lienable offense. So if not paid, some of the properties will watch all of them. So we'll make sure we have something that will secure those.
Okay. All right. Questions?
Yeah, any concerns about that or any objections to moving that direction?
Hearing none, all right. Mrs. Kraus?
Thanks, Your Honor. Just letting you know that the parade scheduled for 12:05 at near Wellwood Park at 7 o'clock. And if you will be attending, let me know so that we can get something set up for you, vehicle or walking or whatever it is that you want to do. Breakfast with Santa is scheduled for 12:13. We've already sold out of the 2 sessions. And this has worked out a better way because it limits the number of people. Sorry, thank you. That. But it's worked out really well because past people just can't come in and just stay there and sat at a table. So this moves people in and out and a lot more people can go through. So, yeah. The community center had a second game night, and that worked out well. And
I didn't see it.
it was the 12th. Yeah. So we're going to do another one. I think we're going to work toward either maybe a Friday soon, so that it seems to have less families and kids because it was a Wednesday night. So
That's what I said.
yeah. So that's been people have been happy about that. They like game night. And then there's a house tour happening on the 6th of December, and that's through Business Association as well. So if anybody
Which house tour?
Christmas house tour.
I did not think that. Okay.
I think they're skipping this year.
They are, well, it was on our calendar, so I will.
Yeah, no. You mean the
they're
general
looking to
calendar?
start staggering them. They're
Are you talking about the general calendar?
Yeah.
They're skipping.
Yeah, they should just. Just
All
you.
right, I'll check on that and then get rid of that stuff. And that's all I have. Whoever will be going to the league tomorrow is the League of Municipalities. And I think that's it, right?
That's it. Okay, thank you very much. Questions for the clerk? There you go. Community development, we're the only item that I have. No, I'll put the community center in this report. The rental revenues are up significantly. We've done a great job this year. We're up 37% year over year. And the lower level just in November is up 241% year over year. So that's significant. We're getting a lot of activity. So continued investment in that property is helping that property is working. The fire company wanted to thank them publicly for their help today, taking the champion soccer team around town. Great. It was very nice. Got a lot of comments from parents. So thank you to the fire company for that. Monsterville came, went, and was successful. Not a lot of major incidents that I'm aware of. Continue to have some things here, but I don't. I have not had a full debrief, chief, or with Mr. McLean. I know that we will implement safety practices with this as usual. So, thank you to everybody involved in that. That's it for anything that I have at this point. We have the CFO report, old business, new business. Ready to go? New business, consent agenda, everyone? We have a number of resolutions read by consent agenda.
Just have a question. What's the status of it? Is the bank building?
What?
The bank building? That's going to be hospitality.
Yeah, that's just a follow.
Yeah, we
No, just working on funding. That's right. I was on the other.
I didn't know if they got it right.
My first statement decided to see more.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was.
Okay, everyone's good. I'll read the resolutions into record. Resolution 25-119, authorization to amend the state redevelopment group and hospitality urban renewal LLC. Resolution 125-120, authorizing grant State of New Jersey Green Communities Grant. Resolution 25-121, property tax exemption of dwelling for disabled veteran. Resolution 25-122, authorizing purchase of access system Borough Hall and Community Center. Resolution 25-123, appointing Robert Ransom Joint Land Use Board as alternate. Resolution 25-124, event fee for task force for Monson. Resolution 25-125, first of matters of the Joint Land Use Board pursuant to NJSA 5. Resolution 25-126, authorizing campaign for virtual fire department. Resolution 25-127, transfers. Resolution 25-128, authorization of purchase of vehicle for the police department.
So,
Second.
I'll give it to Mr. Speraza, the second goes to Mr. Cheryl. Roll call, please.
Mr. Benjamin?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Mr. Perno?
Yes.
Mr. Speraza?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
Okay, financial.
At this time, I agree with
Second.
Motion, Mr. Perno, second for this is restaurant. Second, Mr. Speraza. Roll call, please.
Mr. Benjamin?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Mr. Perno?
Yes.
Mr. Speraza?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
Any announcements, Mrs. Speraza, or Mr.
Before the announcements, there was a request by the construction code to amend the fee ordinance, provide for the fee for the placement of solar panels on roofs. That it's a standard one that he has in the towns that he represents.
Let me just look at it.
Well,
What did this solar panels like? What was that for? Was that
not
escrow
sure.
fees? By any
Right,
way?
we definitely get something, I don't want to say it's solar panels. On that. What,
it was winter.
it was like it's just for the construction for his fees. Permit fee for $375.
Who's gonna have us on those,
is, don't they have to be constructed or owned before the end of this year?
I think it's before September.
Yeah, they, to be constructed,
Yeah.
This is the installation.
and I thought installation had been done with the
Yeah,
president.
I don't know what else it's over.
I don't think you did that for us, so.
About the
What means,
Yes.
who's inspecting?
But the,
No, in what capacity? Right now, we expect them to all.
So in the past, it was inspected through the fire department, and they can no longer put it in because there's not a sub-code official that's listed to do the inspection. So they had to remove the cost if it was not listed specifically as a sub-code. So the construction official will now do it, but it's not listed as his charge. So it has to change so that the construction official can charge for that.
Now, that. So she's providing like actual context, you're just like, let's throw it on.
She just blacked out.
Hey, based on the clerks, advice.
That's an ordinance. Okay, so you're asking for that ordinance.
Title level.
It says 2514, title only to amend, fees related to solar panel inspections due to some internal changes to our existing subcode.
So.
I'll say on behalf of council.
Yeah,
Who made the motion?
So moved.
The conversation report. Yes, thank you. Second, any other discussion? Yeah. Hearing none, roll call.
Mr. Benjamin?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Mr. Perno?
Yes.
Mr. Speraza?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
Okay. But the other one is not.
No, we'll wait on.
Okay.
And I don't have, do we have any announcements? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
So,
There. Mr. Woods was the first.
Somebody got it.
Opposed, meeting is adjourned.
Yeah, that's, I think that's. Yeah.